this edition of Dream Garage, we see what happens when your toys get to be full size. And later, what happens when your Dream Garage works for you? I'm your host, Ray Iddings, and our first Dream Garage fulfills that boyhood fantasy of what if you had a life-size Hot Wheel?
Anyway, this has been kind of my lifelong project, and everybody asks me, well, when are you going to finish it? The real answer to that question is it's probably never going to be finished because you enjoy the process of building the car, not a finished car.
Bruce, a 57 Chevy connoisseur, has built a dream garage for the greatness and legacy of this vehicle. His passion for the car has spread into his personal life as a toy maker.
I've always loved to work on cars my entire life, and originally I was painting real cars for customers, and the problem when I did that was I never could want to work on my cars because I'd be tired by the end of the day. Then fortunately I got into working on toys for my job, and my cars were able to become a hobby and fun for me again.
Bruce has been working with all the major toy makers since 1994. He makes prototypes that eventually make their way into homes around the globe.
Mattel, Hasbro, Action Performance Racing, did the Muscle Machine line, and my new line is the Ground Pounder line. And fortunately, I get to make the originals that become die-cast toys, so it's a lot of fun.
Chances are that you or your kids have some of Bruce's toys laying around your house. Bruce, on the other hand, has a toy chest like no other, and his toys are life-size.
My garage has been in my head for a lot of years, and finally in 2007, I was actually able to make it a reality. And myself and two of my friends built my ultimate garage. It's 30 feet deep by 36 feet wide, and I have a 16-foot wide, 10-foot tall garage door, so I can bring pretty much anything in there that I want to work on into my garage. I tell people that if you're not having fun in my garage, you need to leave, because the garage is for nothing but fun, and so I really get to enjoy it.
Nothing makes Bruce more happy than what's in his garage.
I've loved 57s ever since I was a kid. One of my first cars is over here, the Hot Wheel 57 Nomad. It's actually a two-door wagon, and this is my 57 Nomad. I've had this car since 1994. This car I drove for almost 10 years full-time. It looks like an old car. Everybody that sees it knows it's a 57 Chevy, but the nice thing about it is it's all been modernized. It has a 327 Chevy 350 automatic. The engine and trans are modern. It has disc brakes, air conditioning. My next thing I want to put in is power windows, so it's a little more modern, because lots of times I'm driving down the road and people say they're waving at me or whatever, so I try and reach over and roll my window down, which is a little dangerous. So instead I'm going to put power windows in so I can just roll it down and talk to them, because everybody wants to talk to me when I'm driving my cars, because I drive old cars almost 100% of the time.
Accompanying his Nomads are his insane toy collection.
I was always buying 57 Chevys for as long as I can remember. Anyone I ever saw, I had to own it. It was something I had to have. And so now I've gotten a little bit better. Now I only buy ones I like, not ones that are just because it's a 57 Chevy, because I've got more than enough that'll last me forever.
Bruce has more than 857 Chevys in his vast collection.
This entire wall is about 40 years of collecting 57 Chevys. One of my favorites is the one I had probably since I was 12 years old, is the slot car 57 Nomad, the maroon one with the dark stripe. Probably a lot of inspiration to my collecting and wanting a 57 Chevy when I got to the age of driving. So I love collecting Nomads, and there's not as many Nomads, so if there isn't a Nomad of something, I make it myself. So with Muscle Machines, this is a cross between a 57 Chevy and I took the roof off of the 55 Nomad to make my own 57 Nomad in this case. The pictures here are some of the real things that I've worked on with Mattel. Actually, the best one is Larry Wood's drawing up here on the wall. That was the inspiration for my car becoming a Hot Wheel car. This wall right here is probably one of my inspiration walls. Tom Taylor designed Shazoom for Boyd Coddington back in, I believe it was the early 90s. But the best piece here is Tom Taylor gave me the original foam model of Shazoom when they were building the real car. And it's kind of broken up a little bit because they actually took and made a mold off of that, so it got broken up when they used a crowbar to take it out of the mold, but it's still such a unique piece that it's one of my favorites. This is all of the different versions of Hot Wheels that have been made of my car. One of the ones I'm most proud of is the Dream Halloween one. I got to do the graphics for it and also the colors, so it's a very special one.
Bruce's favorite toy? It has to be the No-Nomad.
I always think I have one Hot Wheel car, but in reality I have two Hot Wheel cars. So the turquoise one you've seen over there, and the No-Nomad is the red car. It's never been painted solid red like the Hot Wheel, but that's what Larry Wood envisioned it being. So in 2000, the set came out. The car still wasn't even a finished car. It was just a bare body with an engine sitting there getting back together. In 2005, finally got the car back on the road again, and I drove it down to Mattel, and they said, we want you to have this car at SEMA in our booth in November. And I was fortunate because I was able to have the car at SEMA with the transparent paint job on the car in the SEMA booth 3 months later. I had the blown engine I built. Basically was a complete looking car even though it wasn't finished. The No-Nomad has always been a car that's been a part of me. It'll always be with me my entire life, and it'll probably, I've always said if I could be buried with it, I would. It's got a 500 blown injected Cadillac motor. It's a BDS blower with a fast fuel injection. The air comes in through the scoop in the roof, and everyone thinks that I have just an open boat-headed car, but it's not. It's a fake system, not a fake system, but a real. It's got stainless steel headers that go into underneath the car where it has a dual muffler system, and then it comes back up to the floor. And once it gets to the floor, it becomes headers again, and then it exhausts out the back window. So it's got electronic doors on it. Everybody thinks it's a race car, but it's not a race car, it's a street car. It's got air conditioning, disc brakes, power windows. It's a modern, drivable car. The neat thing about this car is every time that it comes out on the road, it's always been a different car. It's not like a car that you see it and it's done 10 years ago and you see it again now and it's the same car. This car has been a constant progression of changes. The body on the car is probably the most unique part of the car. Everybody sees the engine and they see the Hot Wheel logo, but they don't really realize how much has been done to the car. I've been fortunate to get to work with a lot of designers, and it's also unfortunate because they have great ideas. I never realized how much the great ideas cost until I started to actually build the car. So this used to be a two-door posted wagon. It's not a Nomad, so that's why I've called the car No-Nomad. But it had a posted door, so the posts have been cut off the doors, and now the windows, the power windows roll up inside of the to no frame. The top was chopped 2 inches, and then it started looking, because the wagon roof is very egg-shaped, it looked very strange. So we actually cut the roof skin and took another 1.5 inches cut out of the roof skin so that it thinned the roof down. And then we grafted in a 57 Buick, the tops of the doors off of a 57 Buick. And to keep with the sedan look, I kept the original sedan trim and hand-built the stainless trim to match, to bring it all together. The rear wheel wells have been opened up about 4 inches for the large diameter tires and wheels. And one of the things that I've asked a lot of 57 Chevy people that look at this fender think it's a stock fender, but the entire wheel's been moved 4 inches forward, so the bumper has been shortened 4 inches, and then it's been narrowed 2.5 inches, so the entire front end is pie cut. And then Chip Foose gave me the idea. He said, when you chop the top, just instead of lengthening the top, just lean the windshield back. And, oh, that sounds like that'll be really a neat way to do it, not realizing that it was going to be hundreds of hours worth of work to cut the windshield on an angle, change all of the stainless, change all of the trim inside. It ended up becoming a major production. So then as you walk around the car, one of my favorite things that I customized is the front grille. The original grill has 2 front turn signals that are in the original grill, and I didn't really like that for this car, so I cut the wings off of a 57 Buick and grafted them into the 57 Chevy grill and made a one-of-a-kind grill. And then underneath the hood, everybody goes, "What do you got under there?" Nothing. It's like, no, everything is under here. It's got a radiator with 2 electric fans. Underneath the fuel cell are 2 big electric water pumps that push the water back to the engine and pull it back to the radiator in the front. All of the air ride suspension, I can raise and lower the car with the air ride, is all in there. And then the foam-filled fuel cell with all of the electric fuel pumps are all up in the front. And then we got rid of the cowl on it and lengthened the hood up to the windshield. So there's a lot of unique features about this car. I've grafted the mirrors into the stainless. This is just the first version. I intend on doing it. That was kind of my mock-up version. I've got a new version I'm working on next to be one of the changes, and then I'm going to be making a custom rear bumper for the car also. The word that I like the best to describe my garage is wow. When anybody comes up here and they say wow, I know that I've hit my mark, because any project I've ever done, or especially if I go and look at something else that I love, the first word out of my mouth is wow. And when I hear wow, I know I've hit my mark.
Bruce is definitely having fun, and who knows what the No Nomad will look like the next time it makes a public appearance. This dream garage is the source of whimsy and fantasy through toys. Our next dream garage shows what happens when you let passion take over your life. Stay tuned for more Dream Garage. While some people use their dream garages as man caves or personal museums, others renovate them as places of business.
My name's Gary Choppet Fiotto. Build custom cars and motorcycles and hot rods my whole life. When I was real young, my dad got me a car, brought it home, and let me do whatever I wanted to it. And to his shock, when he came home the next day, I had cut the roof off the car and quarter panels and started putting stuff back together. Just been doing this my whole life. I don't know anything else.
At age 11, Gary had no other option but to use his father's garage. Since those early days, Gary has had garages in multiple states.
I started off in New York. I was born and raised there. Then got married, had some kids, and my wife and I decided to do a change, and we moved to Florida. And we enjoyed that, but the humidity, just you strip a car, you go and have lunch, you come back, and the car will be rusty again. So always wanted to come to California. Finally had the opportunity, made a jump out here. January would be 3 years. And now this shop here, which is not mine, it belongs to my son. And my other son's the foreman. They let me sweep the floors every now and then.
Gary's son Nick owns the custom shop, and his brother Fabian is his right-hand man. This leaves Gary as the wizard of car building. These 3 men create some of the most epic rides in this dream garage.
I'm Nicholas Fiotto of Chopper Custom Cars, and I build hot rod and custom cars. When I was 9 or 10, I built a chopper bicycle, raked neck, extended front end, sissy bar, banana seat, and I rode that to my friend's house around town, to school.
I'm Fabian Choppet, and I build cars here at Chopper Custom with my dad and my brother. I've been into cars since I can remember, just growing up around Dad building cars in the garage. Growing up, we went to all the major shows in the area and even traveled across country. So my brother and I have been into it since we're really young, but now we're really cranking on stuff. I'm 20 years old now, and I work full-time in the shop.
As a parent, I couldn't be any prouder than my kids. I look forward to come to work every day, just to hang out with them.
Like so many, the garage is the connection for this family. From New York to Florida, and finally California, it's in a dream garage that this family has sculpted a way of life that will continue for generations to come.
We all think alike, so working with my brother and my dad and my mom and my sister sometimes, it's nice to work with family.
There's a lot of cool builders out there, but I get to work with my family, and I have a great time every single day. very fortunate.
The move to California has been a successful one, but there was one element that was difficult to find.
When we started looking for buildings here, we looked at over 300 buildings before we picked this one. Most of the driveways were crazy to get in and out of, too much of a hump. This one just fit our needs perfectly. And we're real comfortable here, and we just enjoy it here very much. The shop is set up comfortable. You've seen the other shop, that's working out real well. We're very happy here, very happy.
Moving out here, you know, we knew that this is where hot rodding and customs grew up. This is where it started, and this is where it still is. So for what we do, this is the place we needed to be.
Gary and his sons not only build cars for themselves, but a wide range of clients too.
When a client comes to me and says to me, hey, what are you gonna build me? I tell them, you'll be just as surprised as I am, because I don't have a clue. I look at the car, I walk around it a little bit, and then I start cutting. I had one client come in, look at a car that I was building for him, and he said to me, that's not traditional, I don't like that. And I told him, well, I'll finish it, and when I'm done with it, you can bring it to somebody else and have them do whatever you want done to it. I said, but this is the way I'm building the car. As it turned out, that car ended up being real famous and won every award. And it's just one of the bitchinest Mercs in the country to this day. Not only do we build cars that look good, but we build cars that you can drive. I mean, drive them hard. People can't believe that we drove our cars, 5-6 hours to a show. And ask them where the trailer is. Got no stinking trailer. Trailers are when we build a brand new car and we bring it all over the country. Yes, that's when we trailer a car. After that, you drive that son of a bitch and drive it till the wheels fall off. That's what a real car is, and that's what we like to give to our clients.
Most of their creations are one of a kind. They achieve their uniqueness by combining elements of a wide range of vehicles.
This is a 50 Merc 4-door. We're building this for a client in Miami Beach, Florida. And again, the chassis and floors are all been swapped out. It's got a ZZ4 with tri-power. We took the roof from a 1950 Chevy Fastback, and we took a left and right quarter panel, and we sliced them and we put them together. So what you're gonna have here is gonna be a 4-door, hardtop, Fastback Merc. To my knowledge, there's never been one done like this yet. So this one should be pretty cool.
This is a 53 Ford pickup truck, another frame-off car. Come around the side, we're doing all the sheet metal work right now. Underneath, the frame's powder-coated, all stainless lines, crate motor, overdrive transmission, Curry rear end. This has a 54 Merc dashboard that we just put into it.
This is a 1932 Ford pickup. This one I've had for approximately 37 years. It took me 21 years of my spare time to build, because I build for clients, so my own personal stuff takes, a long time. When my son turned 18, this was his graduation present from his mom and me. So this is a 32 pickup, chopped, channeled, sectioned. It's just bitchin'. And driving this thing down the highway is like driving a go-kart with 400 horse. Just love it to death. It's been part of the family, and it will stay part of the family forever.
So this is a 27 Ford Roadster that we built. It's an all steel bodied car. It's over a T-bucket style frame. It's channeled 8.5 inches, but there's a lot of trick stuff going on with this car. The whole nose is all aluminum. I hand built everything. The whole shell, it's a 3-piece nose, so it was welded down the center and around the bottom side. But it was the first time I ever made a track nose like this. This car has an all aluminum small block with dual quads. And it's just shoehorned in there. But I built the whole hood frame, all the framework to hold this nose on this car. So right now we're getting it all prepped for paint. So the grill and the insert are out for chrome right now. The headers are stainless and they run down into the side of the body. But like all this work here, everything's hand built. But it's an all steel car. It's steel doors. You can see how far it's channeled. We built all the floors inside the car. And then on the back of the car, we built a rolled pan to hold 48 Ford taillights. The license plate is half Frenched on the top and then pulled out on the bottom. And it gets a Nerf bar to house the taillights and the license plate.
Gary and his sons work off pure inspiration. Once the process begins, nothing will stop it.
1950s and 1960s, as far as automobiles and music and the whole scene was it. That was I mean, my dad was born in the mid-50s, and even going through the 70s and 80s, he always gravitated towards 50s and 60s. The cars, the music, and everything to do with that era. And it's something about the designs and the time and the way it works that it's something that today I don't think could be recreated again.
We like surrounding ourselves with old stuff. We like listening to old music, 40s, 50s, very early 60s. But that sets the whole tone for the shop.
I can't listen to new music and work on old cars. It's all got to be, it all goes hand in hand. When I drive to shop in the morning, I'm in a 53 Chevy with oldies on.
Choppett's Dream Garage actually comes in two parts. In the original garage is where the fabrication happens, and in the new addition, that's dedicated to the finishing process.
So in the shop, we cover everything. We do everything in-house, from obviously metal work to suspension work, engine work, body work, paint. So we foresee a car from the time it rolls in to the time it rolls out. So back here we have the metal forming area where we have most of our equipment that takes to do the custom work. So here we have an English wheel my dad actually made, and just little things. We have the shear, shrinker and stretcher, the brake gear. Everything happens here, most of the custom work. So
We don't have the elite shop, but we can make things that would be in competition with guys with the best machinery. We just got to work a little harder. That's all it is. Is that not bitching or what? This is a 1950 Merc that I built for one of the nicest guys in the world. Unfortunately, he just passed away, and the family asked me if I would take the car and find a good home for it. So that's what I'm doing. But this is one that I handmade the roof, quarter panels. The whole front end is a 56 Caddy front bumper, 67 European style Mercedes headlights, 57 Caddy motor with 58 tri-power. The rear end of the car is really bitching. You gotta go back there and take a look at it. Extended quarters, 60 Caddy bumper, custom tail lights, exhaust peeking through the bumper. This car is bitching, absolutely bitching. Hands down, take it on the highway, do 100 miles an hour like it's nothing. No matter where you go, you'll come back again. This car is phenomenal. All the cars that we build here at Choppett, we guarantee them to drive beautiful and not break down on you. That's what we freaking do.
So this is the 1959 El Camino we're working on, and it's on the rotisserie right now. So this gives us the ability to turn the car on every which side to get everywhere. So we're doing body work here right now, and the paint booth over here so we could paint the cars in there.
This is a little project of mine. Started it a few years ago. Haven't had a chance to touch it since we made the move to California. This is a Jaguar, but as you can see, I altered just about everything on the car. The whole body has been completely altered. It's been all shaved, completely down to the bone, and all the panels are handmade. It's gonna be another bubble top, but I think it's gonna be absolutely bitchin'.
This Dream Garage houses some of the most amazing custom vehicles in existence. Cars like this are of pure fantasy. Even the world's greatest designers dream of creating such masterpieces.
To me, my he's been the greatest influence in my life. Growing up with him and being around the car, we've always shared the same interests since day one. And he's worked very hard, and he's done a lot of amazing things throughout his career. And he's had a lot of fun, and that's what this is about, having fun. Because it's not every day you get to do what you love and enjoy what you do. And that's what we do, you know. This is a passion, and we're happy we made it a livelihood.
This is what I was meant to do. This is what I was put on this earth to do. Other than having a great wife for over 40 years and great kids, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I'm not rich, but I'm wealthy beyond belief when it comes to family. And that's what makes all this possible.
The boys at Choppett have a lifestyle that has been passed down from the older generation. But as this way of life continues, one thing remains true. It all happens in their Dream Garage. Join us next time to see more Dream Garages.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to WatchPTTV.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.